Hey yo, what's up everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good morrow, good day. Good day, I say to you, good day. I say good day. What's up everybody? Alright, let's get this shindig started. My camera's on third. Peter, you were right on with that one. 58 seconds. It's awesome. Let's see. Make sure all my stuff is muted. You guys, volume is okay. Just make sure that things are set up correct. I don't hear any echoes or anything. Echo, 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 echo. For some reason, the Facebook link is not picking up. I have to check in on that one. Not sure why. Anyways, what's up everybody? Today, as with the last couple of sessions, we're working on some God of War fan art. Or fart, as I like to call it. We're doing some troll fart. So yeah, this is so in episode 1 we covered blocking out the head. In episode 2 we covered blocking out the body. So that's what we got so far. Today I think we're going to finish cleaning up the overall proportions of the body and then start posing him. And then we'll get into some more stuff. We'll just do stuff. Right now he's kind of like funky looking. So we're going to clean up some of his shapes, maybe clean up his feet a little bit. Make sure that his proportions are doing right. I got to get his hands somewhat into order. And then we'll go from there. Let's see some of our reference. So this is the dude that we're working on. Ooh, he got something going on with his foot there. But we got some good reference. So that's what we're doing. And I think we're gonna go with something that's not quite exactly this one, this version. So it'll be something, you know, a different type of troll. If you've, there's not just one troll in the game. Spoilers. There were many kinds, so we'll do that. That's what we'll do. Give me a second here. Just finish getting set up real quick. Okay. Let's get these guys off to the side. Maybe this one we'll leave. Maybe this one and this one we'll leave in the background. I like to leave something in the background. Excuse me. So that every once in a while I'm working, all I have to do is go up to the see-through and just go, oh, okay, right. I am way off. Alright. I'd say let's we're gonna go ahead and start working on his hands again. So for this one I'm basically just using the sculptress mode. For me, I actually have mapped the sculptress button to Shift S. Works really well for me. That way I can pop in and out of Sculptress really quickly. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough. A bit of a? Did you just say a bit of a? Alright, so I'm gonna try to get his hands into the right proportions real quick. Just make sure I'm on symmetry. Big hands are really interesting anatomically. Usually, the more stubby the fingers, the larger. It's like the size relationship between the palm and the fingers, right? Usually, if you're looking at a normal palm, the size of the finger is similar to the size of the palm. But as you get like the larger proportions, the fingers tend to be a little bit shorter than the size of the palm, right? Something like this, almost like 2/3 the size of the palm. And then this area on the thumb is also pretty funky. Great reference is the Hulk. That guy's got killer hands, and his hands have been worked on forever. It's always good reference to go to. So what I'm doing is okay, check this out. I come into this hey Alan, I can't read that, so if it's an actual question, just use English if you can, and then I should be able to answer that for you. Okay, so I don't know if you guys run into this at all, but my undo is not working right now. Right? So do something, I try to undo it, nothing happens. I can go back in my stack, in my undo stack, and it works just fine. But the actual shortcut doesn't work, which is really, really, really annoying. So there's a little trick to get it to work. If we drop to, let's say, let's do a new canvas, new document, new document. No, I don't want to change that. And we'll just drop a primitive in here. Hit T for edit. And then we do make polymesh 3D. Now if I do something, that'll work. Undo shortcut now works. What? What the hell was that? So yeah, that's a little trick of the trade. So now it should work on this guy as well. Yep, there you go. Undoes works. What? Just want to make sure my chat is working. You guys can still hear me and everything, right? Can we get a test in chat just to see what you guys, make sure you guys are all good and everything's working? I fear it's not working. Emma, what's up? That one's working. Excuse me. Okay, that's working. All right. All right. So what we're doing is just one of the other ways that I use Sculptris Pro in cases like this is if I'm moving stuff around and I really want to just add a little bit more geo in here, I just use my smooth tool now. So I can just smooth this out at this brush size, and then that will give me a little bit more geo in there. Just you talking, I guess. Everybody else is like, oh my god, this guy looks amazing so far. How did you do it, man? How you doing, Emma? How's the motherland? Alright. I'm just going to try to get some of these shapes right before we start moving on too far. I don't want to do too much here because I'm going to pose them and resculpt most of this stuff anyways. But I want to be able to at least get the gist of what his hand gesture is going to do when I pose it. Oh, that's why everybody's watching the wedding. Wrong time to do your stream, Brendon. No wonder why nobody's here. Except for Emma. Emma's got my back. And 1 through 5. Okay. Oh, it's done now. Oh, okay. Got it. Ooh, these fingers are a little messy. I think the title still hasn't changed. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's why. I bet that the dudes at Pixo who changed the title are still watching the wedding. Yeah, it's not going to be in Japanese today, guys. This is, just in case you were fooled by the title, this is Brendon Isaiah Bengtson streaming video game art. And in English? Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Do I also paint my work? I typically, for doing game res stuff, I don't typically do too much painting in ZBrush. I may just kind of block in some values if I'm moving forward. If I'm moving forward, that doesn't really make sense. Let's say I get to a point where you know, I'm fairly far along. I may just go in and just block in some values for these different things just to see how the graphic design is reading. But I typically don't. I don't usually paint in here. I usually do that for Substance Painter, because that's the fun part. All right. I think it may be just good enough to just kind of move forward here. Okay, this is the knuckle. This is the knuckle. This is the knuckle. This is the knuckle. We got this that comes back this way, back that way, back that way. Okay. Let's clean up his legs a little bit more. It's just pretty terrible. I'm only using 16 gigs of RAM right now. I would highly suggest using more though. I would say get up to 64 if you can. It's pretty RAM intensive. Alright. I think for the most part, the basic anatomy is there. Enough to kind of get them posed up. So let's do this. Before I pose, I'm going to just group everything. And then what I'm going to do is save it first. Save it! Hold on. You know what? Let me just tell the ZBrush dudes. Actually, you know what? No, it's fine. Isn't it hard to get the hand-painted look and substance? Or do you do your magic fine-tuned AO map that carries the model? I typically do more realistic work. Always save. Absolutely snowing. Yeah, Peter, I don't really do, I do more realistic stuff, so I'm not really... If I was to do stylized, I probably would block out a lot of stuff in here. Because Vertex paint's really easy to use. If you have enough Vertex. Excuse me. You're using 128 gigs of RAM? I thought you could only get to 64. That was my impression. I don't know, you may want to reach out to Pixel support. Thanks, Peter. Alright. So usually what I'll do is before I start moving him around, right? So it's easier to move something with better geo, right? Because if you start moving this stuff, like, it's just gonna get ugly, right? And it's gonna get real ugly. Oh, well, you should be fine with 128. I'm running on 16, so you should be just fine with 128. So usually what I'll do is I'll dupe this guy. Let's turn everything else off. Okay, there we go. So I'll dupe this dude, and I'll just do a ZBrush real quick. I typically use a 20 for adaptive size and 20 for curves. Usually gives you a nice spread of geo. Like, look at that. This. Oh wow. Dude, that's like my low res that's my low res mesh right there. I may actually save that out. That's that actually. Hold on. Maybe just a little bit high, but you know what? I'm actually really impressed by that. 10K for the base mesh, for the body base mesh. That's nothing. You can throw that in the game right now and get it weighted and everything, and you're golden. You're good to go. That's a freaking dope remesh. I am so happy with that. Wow. This is kind of what our base meshes look like at work. Wow. Anywho, alright, so so what I would do is I would just divide this a couple of times and then project it onto the low res details, or project it onto this one that has all the nicer details. We'll just use project, project all. So project all is just going to take whatever you have active and project it to whatever's visible. So that's why I wanted to make sure I hid everything else. And now, I've got the same guy with way better geo. Now I can get to town. And then from there, basically what I'll do is this will be my new mesh to work from. And then when I'm posed and I want to go back into resculpting, I'll just duplicate this guy back out again, and then I'll delete my upper and lower subdivisions. And then I'll just start resculpting with Sculptors Pro. Super dope. I am now going to attempt a pose. Poses are tough, so you're going to have to bear with me. We're just going to do poses for a little while. And it's going to be painful. So bear with. You want to pull. I typically just use the 20 by 20. So 20 for adaptive size and 20 for curve strength. This is so golden. Those two values right there, just 20/20, is golden. I'm gonna rotate this out a bit. Let's do this. Yeah, man, no problem. No problem. Or at least want to get some squatted knees. I actually got a decent pose that I'm looking for. This one's pretty dope. Yeah, unfortunately I'm not in charge of the mods, so it would be easier if mods were able to do it. I like this pose. It's still a little bit general, but it's pretty dope. Alright, let's try to get something. Yeah, Pro. Yeah, I don't have access to any of that stuff, so otherwise I'll just be like, I'd change it real quick or ask what do you do to change it. Other than that, how you doing, Pro? Alright, you know what, let me text the pics out, guys, real quick. Alright, let's move forward. Let's just move forward. Alright, let's... Oh man, honestly, dude, I don't know what the hell I would do if my hands cramped up so bad that I couldn't do art. I think that's like one of my worst nightmares. One of my worst nightmares. Yeah, dude. I feel for you, brother. Alright, so let's get some... So right now I just want to get something a little different from just the A pose. I'm glad your hands are feeling better, though. Alright, so now we got at least a little bit of something. Okay. Question is, alright, let's get out of symmetry now, and let's just start doing something. I forgot my size is really weird, so I'm gonna increase my brush size. So if I got a preference draw, and just turn this up a bit, max brush size. Now I can go higher than 1,000. Could also go into deformation and do unify. It's also another good way to do it. Oh yeah, whenever I go get a massage, I always try to tell the person that, like, don't worry about my feet, just get my hands. Hand massage is godly for sure. So let's do this. Let's see if we can get some. So I'm gonna have him with that big piece of this weapon. I'm gonna do that weapon as well. So I'm gonna start at least having his shoulder more over his center of gravity to be able to hold on to that. So it's kind of what I'm going for right now. This process is quite tedious, but it can work okay. Now you see how absolutely helpful it is to be able to have that really nice Z-remesh. Makes this process 1,000 gajillion times easier. 1,000 gajillion. Alright, this is going to be a little bit interesting trying to get his arm twisted and around up there. Let's try actually pulling it this way. That deformation. It's so damn sexy. Except for that. Woo! Let me just try to smooth that out, maybe. Let's actually... So as I go, when I start getting stuff like this happening, I try to, before I push it any further, I like to try to do a little bit of just kind of massaging around. Speaking of massages. Just to kind of get those shapes still doing the right things as I'm moving along. Right? I want to make sure that even though this is an in-between step, is that I'm still getting the right shapes. The gigawatts? What was it, 88 gigawatts? And I may actually even... Yeah, I know, right? So, I'm deviating off a little bit from my normal workflow for what I do on stream. Typically, I do game res stuff, but I think this round, for this dude, I'm going to do a little bit more of statue workflow. I haven't really done too much in that, so I want to... the main goal for this piece is to create a cool diorama. And I really would love to be able to get it printed at some point. So this is kind of just me fiddling around a little bit with, you know what, I'm going to go back to this guy. So this is me fiddling around with a new process. By the way, if you want to ever get back to the original transpose, all you have to do is make sure that the move tool is on, and you just toggle Y. Okay. A gazillion. Okay. Still holding together okay. I think we can continue moving. Actually, you know what? It's really going to help if we actually have the thing to pose around. So let's do that real quick, actually. It's actually holding up pretty good. Eh. Yeah, he works out, you know. All right, so let's create the thing real quick. Let's just append a cube. Yeah, that's fine. Grab this dude. And then we'll just... Dude, 128 gigs of RAM. Dude, that's a little overkill. A little much. A little much. I feel like that may be a little bit too big. That should be about right. Then what we'll do is we'll just go back to this guy and we'll put on ghosting. And then now we've got a really awesome way of kind of moving around that piece. If you guys don't know where ghosting is, it's in transform, transparency, and then turning on ghost. Or transparency without ghost, it's fine. I use ghost. And now I can still grab underneath that. Yeah, I think we're probably going to destroy his shoulder now. But it's okay, because I'm going to re-sculpt it anyways. I don't need to have that nice game res mesh. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? This is one thing I love about ZBrush, is that every single subtool has its own history. So amazing. When you guys came up with that, Pixo, genius, bro. Genius. Mostly because now I can just go back and be like, oh, I'm going to go back to here. Right? And then I'm going to duplicate that. Right? So duplicating doesn't, it just creates a new one. It doesn't affect that other piece, right? So this one, right? It still has all of its states, and now I can just go back to here, right? And now I have that original guy, if I can ever go back to, right? Or maybe actually I want to go back to before I moved his arm, and I can duplicate off there as well, and then just save those out, and now I can go back to where I was. What? Look, I created animation. Raw Hulk smash. All right. So now I can go back if I want to. Let me see, even duplicate this dude off. Sorry, I'm working on Avengers like all the time right now, so everything is very Avengers-y for me. Okay, so let's. So the bicep, I think, is gonna stay the same. I think we just need to rotate this guy back more. And it's got to come back out, honestly. So this has got to come all the way back. And I think really what's happening as well is that the shoulders, if you look from the top, the shoulders are still in line with the hips. I don't think I want that very much. Not so much. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to grab all of this. We're going to go to the center, readjust. And we're going to pull his shoulders back like that. Alright, this will give him nice depth when we're looking at him. Maybe adjust this a little bit. And I think this piece is going to actually rotate more. It's going to be kind of like that. Look at that. It's working. Ha 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 ha. It's working. Okay, so we're going to leave that just for a second, and I really want to adjust his stance. I think what is going to happen, let's see if he's going to do right foot forward or right foot back. So I would think that the left foot would go back to help even out that. Because otherwise you're going to have this weird torque happening. So... we'll give him a little bit more of a squat. Okay. I'll grab this one. And this one probably is going to go way back. We actually may even want to flare it out more. Actually kind of want to do this a little bit different. Let's, instead of going straight back, let's actually rotate it out instead. Oh, posing. I hate posing. It's awesome when it comes together. Yeah, right, bro. I just gotta put this over here. Where's my food? Alright, what is this? Okay. Let me think for a second here. Let's just try some different things. Don't forget to save. Let's look at some reference. How about that? Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Can always do reposing later too, if something doesn't feel quite right. So from here, what I'll try to do is, well, let's turn on floor. The floor. Where's the floor? Crap. Where's the floor? Do you guys remember where floor is? I took it out of my toolbar because I never use it. And I'm like, oh, I'll never use that. I'll just pick it up from the drop downs. And then I don't fucking remember. Excuse me, I don't remember where it is. You guys remember where the floor is? I just knew this one was gonna backfire on me. I know, I should go back to standard UI, but I've just gotten so... There's perspective. It's out, brush, layer, no. Marker, no. Where is it? I thought it was in transform with all the other stuff. No. No. Stencil, no. It's under draw. Why is it under draw? That's so weird. Draw. I don't see it under draw. Channels? No. Oh, floor. There it is right there. Draw. Why is it under draw? So weird. Thanks, Alice. Alright, well that works. Let's go back to draw real quick and see if we can... That's true. I'm asking. I'm streaming on Pixelogic channel, asking why it doesn't make any sense. There we go. So I'll try to just do a little bit of a... Give me an idea of what the flat plane looks like, so I can adjust his ankles. His cankles. I'm glad you guys saw the irony in that. Shift P, really? For plane. See, even I learned stuff. Nice, Wacky. Thank you. Actually, you know what? You know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna, instead of having both his feet flat on the ground, I'm going to... Let's do this. Now let's do feet flat on the ground. I want to do some nice sculpting to his feet, so his feet deserve it, you know. I feel like his feet, out of any of them, have really long days. You know what I mean? They're like, alright, we're going to do Shift P. Ah, it works. Nice. Nice. Alright, I'm going to adjust some of the anatomy here. Yeah, a little of that belly back. And have compression, extension. Alright. I think he survived fairly well. Let's get his other arm working in a better fashion. One second, guys. Okay, we do that. We're gonna do this. That. So I gotta pull up my Facebook friends here. Make sure that I'm getting the chat from Facebook real quick. Hold on one sec. a chat from Facebook real quick. Hold on 1 sec. Okay, now you can hear it. All right. Sorry. So people on Facebook, sorry if I haven't gotten your chats. Still kind of getting this new system up and rolling. So okay, we got some hellos and stuff. All right, good. I didn't miss any big questions from there. Okay, cool. We're back. Yeah, we're back. All right, what am I gonna do with his arm here? See that your I'll just go with sculpting, even for exclusive hard surface stuff. Because your drone is also sculpted. Are you faster sculpting than modeling? You know, it really depends. What's up, Coalfire? Yo, yo, yo. As I remember, I feel like for the drone that I actually did a lot of modeling for that one. I feel like. It really depends on the project. If it's hard surface, I usually still typically do a lot of actual modeling. If it's hard surface, I typically do modeling. But for me, I'm actually faster. I'm more of an organics guy, so I tend to do organic stuff, sculpting faster. Moto and ZBrush, yep, I'm a Moto guy. Alright, so what we're going to do is I want to twist his wrist, right? So I want to do this nice pronation. Pronation? I think that's what it's called, right? Pronation? When you twist your wrist. Pronation and supination? Supination? Something like that. I'm sure somebody knows. Can tell me. I'm going to twist his... Make sure that we're up to date on this. Okay, cool. Want to get a little bit of a twist to this, so he's kind of like doing the that kind of thing. I'm doing it over here, like you can actually see it on the camera, but like it's like, you know, more this thing than like, I don't know. Yeah, pronation is towards the midline, supination towards the median line. Ah, yes. Awesome. Thanks, ball. So supination, right, would be twisting out. That's what I want to do. All right. No, don't want to do that. I love how the undos will remember where and you moved your widget. That's so helpful. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to do this. A little bit of that. Supination. Or supination. No supination for you. I think what I'm going to also do is bring this shoulder forward more. Supination, right, yeah. No supination for you, right? I think what I want to do is actually bring that back a little bit. I feel like he's getting a little bit off balance now. Posing is tough, man. Especially when you don't know exactly what pose you want to go for. You're just kind of doing things on the fly, like live. That's also really tough. You're like, yeah, dude, I totally meant to do that. Oh man, his belly is like... That's a little better. Oh, what's it? Let's see. The arm is shoulders back, so this one should be kind of out more like it was actually. Maybe down a little more instead. I want to have like this really nice like arm and hand, not arm and hammer. Alright, I want to have like this nice... What's up, Rod? Thanks, buddy. Trying to make sure I include all the Facebook peoples in here. Oh, he's got a long pinky. Alright, let's place his head real quick. His head is not quite correct anymore. So this guy I'm gonna dupe, send him to the bottom, turn that off. This one I'm gonna send up. All these guys I'm gonna send back to the bottom. Okay. This dude and this dude. This guy, I'm just gonna do a little cleanup here. Is it that guy? No. That's what he looked like before. You guys remember that from the first stream? Ah, sorry. You gotta have fun when you work, right? I think this is the one. Gotta have fun when working. I'll do that every once in a while. My daughter will come in to see what I'm working on. I'll just play with the little toys with her. Oh, hello there, little one. Whoa, whoa. She gets a kick out of it. It's awesome. What's up, dude? Alright, let's get this this head into... Why is it doing that? Freaking weird. Oh, that's why. There's another one on. There you are. Okay. So let's rotate this dude around. Let's turn off ghosting. Start to see where that head is going. Yeah, I'm not happy with the pose yet. I think it still needs a lot of work. Not quite feeling right. Let's actually turn on perspective here. That's probably half the problem. There we go, that looks better. I feel like his head's got to be a little bigger. Look, it's Baby Troll. Oh! No, actually I feel like that's... I feel like it's not... He's not long enough. Let's see if we can do... No, symmetry's broken. Local symmetry? No, not working either. I don't mind breaking symmetry on his head at this point, because I got all the major forms blocked out already. So I feel like, especially in this stage, it's really more for statue production and not necessarily game. There you go. That's feeling a little bit better. So breaking the symmetry is fine. You're really not gonna rig it, and you're not skinning it for game and stuff. So I feel like if you break the symmetry after you block everything out, it actually starts to feel better naturally when you start doing more work on it. Things just look a little bit too weird when they're symmetrical. I feel like maybe we could pull his leg back a little bit. Back this way. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. Feels like... Actually, you know what? Maybe we should rock his hips back a little. Maybe we'll actually... Maybe we'll try to throw his foot up on a boulder or something. It's always a little more cool. Okay, then let's see if we can get his ankle into the spot that we want. Oh, don't forget to save your work. Shift P. Oh, no, not that one. I don't know what I did. Son of a bitch. Son of a... I think I could just zoom back. Like that. Haha, yes. Shift P was what I was actually trying to do. Okay, and then we gotta rotate him back this way. It's a little bit more interesting. All right, and then maybe let's just append in a cube real quick. Grab that cube. Throw that dude down here. On the ground. Look, he's stepping on a rock. A perfectly placed rock for him to step on to get the pose that we want. Thank you, Mother Nature. You're the best. Excuse me. I think maybe we can get his arm feeling a little cooler. Let's do that. I'm actually going to switch back over to the transpose tool. Whoop, not what I wanted to do. Yo, G-Man. What's up, Garrett? How you doing, buddy? I haven't seen him talk to you in a while. How's life? How's life across the pond? Rotate, thank you. I feel like his arm just got a little bit way too big. So I'm going to go back to move, and then I'm just going to pull this back a little bit. Like that. You gotta come to the ZBrush Summit to get the cat, bro. You gotta come to our side of the land. I feel like this, his left leg still is a little bit funky. And then actually, you know what? Nah, let's have his. We gotta be looking down and like over, right? Can't just have him looking out straight. You gotta be looking down at Kratos. Kratos. Just you could also just like make your own, right? You can get the logo and then you can get somebody to make it for you. Oh, I'm definitely doing the summit again this year, Emma. You think about coming back out again? Yeah, it's coming together. It's coming together. Let's see if we can just get his arm a little bit not broken. New era. His arm was feeling a little bit broken there for a minute. Yeah, bring the entourage, man. Bring him. Okay. This left leg is still really. I mean, it looks cool from this side. Looks okay from there, but as soon as you get to this, it's like, oh, 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 ooh, ooh. I gotta figure out what we want to do with that. So yeah. Joanne, what's up? How you doing? How you doing? From Brazil. Thanks, Giovanni. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support. And thank you for your support. I don't know how old the crowd is, but back in the 80s, there were wine coolers. It's an alcoholic drink for you young kids. There was a wine cooler called Bartles and James. Bartles and James. And after every commercial at the end, they always said, "Thank you for your support." that's my story. That was it. Just a quick story. Sometimes quick stories are good, right? Yeah. Now he's kind of looking badass. He's like, "What did you say to me, Kratos? Oh, boy. Boy." See, feeling like it looks pretty awesome from here. You remember Bottles and James? Yes! Bottles and James, thank you for your support. Now you all know how old I am. Hey, Juan Carlos, thanks, man. Gareth. That in what was the there was like a roses something or other. Boons? Does that sound right? There's like Bartles and James and Boons. It's like this like yeah, anyways. All right, now so I feel like this here is feeling really good. But then as soon as you get out here, you're like, "Ooh, oh, yes, awesome, dynamic, power, action, movement." Oh, stifled. Hooch. Yeah, there was actually a Hooch beer as well. Thinking maybe, I don't know, that feels all right. Let's do his ankle real quick. Okay. Something about that back leg that is just not, it's not feeling right. Not feeling right. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is actually rotate this a little bit like that. So now we can actually see like more sides of it. Like this was okay, right? But I feel like you're only seeing like two, maybe just a little bit. But here, I feel like that's going to be a little bit more dynamic, you know? You'll be able to see more. And the bottom of it is now actually sitting flat across, where there it's not, you know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? Dude, all the 80s references today. Boone's Farm, so cheap and so bad. Yep. Alco Pop, yeah. I've never heard of Alco Pop, but Hooch actually was here for a little while in the States. Not so much anymore. Alright, let's see if we can adjust. What's up, Craig? How you doing, man? See if we can adjust a little bit of his anatomy to this pose now. Yeah, this is a huge eyesore for me right here from this angle. I'm gonna see if I can just get some of his anatomy going, and then something will. Yes, yep, a little God of War fan art here, or as I like to call fart. Right, Tonic. What's up, Nas? From Wales, huh? Nice. So you guys just had an event today, didn't you? We have hard lemonade and root beer. That's actually big over here in the States right now. Mike's hard lemonade is pretty big. They're actually doing root beer now, too. Actually doing... And like hard apple. So they're like root beer hard apple cider and like hard lemonade are big over here in the States right now. I'm not sure where everybody's from, so I want to try to get like this nice squash and stretch happening. Alright, so definitely gonna have some squashing over here. Hard beer. I don't know, man. Some of the beer that we have over here is pretty. Actually, in California, so I'm in California, and the beer scene here is pretty crazy. All right, this is gonna go up. Oh, yeah, the exhibition. Wasn't the royal wedding over there today? I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff too much. It was more of just, hey, I wonder why there's nobody here this morning. And then I was like, oh, that royal wedding thing. Gareth, you're in Wales right now, right? That's what you said? It's the hips. You need to rotate them in all directions. Dude. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right, dude. The hips got to go back. And down. Let's see if we can actually just do that. Yes, it was. Okay, cool. But if you're a sane person, you don't care. Right. Exactly. Oh, you're in Ireland. Okay. Oh, so is Emma. Or as I like to call it, from the motherland. So the chat is actually from all over, Emma. Sorry, because having it's a little bit weird. So there's chat going on Facebook, there's chat going on Twitch, and there's also chat going on YouTube. So everything is conglomerated, so I can see it. So I'm chatting with three different places at the moment. So if you can't see it, that's why. Yeah, that's why. All right, I think the hips. He said got to come up, and these got to go down. See if we could just do that without actually rotating everything. Kind of what I'm hoping for. Just kind of like... That feels better. Feels a little bit better. Still don't really like that. Good call on the hips though, dude. Good call on the hips. Alright. Let's see if we can get a little bit of this anatomy back in here. Back rolling. We gotta give him some butt. It's one thing I learned from Marvel. Gotta make sure the butts look good. Across the board. When you rotate, you actually deform the mesh. Yes. Simple move that uses skinning to work seamless. Okrin, not sure what the last part of that is asking. When you rotate, you actually deform the mesh. Yes. Simply move. Yeah, I don't want to get into like the getting everything all rigged up and stuff, especially if it doesn't. This is actually going to be for more for, what do you call it, a statue work, than it is actually for production. I'm doing something a little bit different this round in this project. I typically, on most of my streams, I'm doing work for video game art. This one's a little bit different. I'm gonna try out doing more production for, or the workflow for statue. There's some red and some white. Just change your material to whatever you want. So each subtool can have its own material. So like this one can be red, or it can be white, whichever. If you do fill object with material on, you can actually apply it to the mesh, and then when you turn colorize on and off, that's what'll happen. Alright, G-Man, take it easy, buddy. Handy, I'm not doing too much texturing at the moment. If it's an easy question, I may be able to answer it, but there's a high chance I won't be able to. You're welcome to ask the question though if you'd like. So I'm just working on, right now I'm just working on getting some of the anatomy kind of back into what it should be, so my shapes are reading better. This is all whacked. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Hanny, you can send it to me on Facebook if you want. What's up, Joel? Alright. Just gotta come back a little bit. Alright. We still got some good shape to his legs, which I'm fairly happy with. This is looking a little funky at the moment, but he survived actually pretty well through this process. I'm actually fairly happy with him so far. So what I'm doing is I'm always looking at the profile. I mean the silhouette for wherever I'm looking, right? So here I'm looking at the inside of his ulna. Radius is on the outside. Radius is actually coming over here to this wrist from the outside. Right? We got supination happening where the radius comes from the outside of the elbow to the inside of the wrist when the palm is down. And the ulna goes from the inside now to the outside of the wrist over here. So I'm looking at this. So right now I'm like, ooh, that does not look good, right? So I'm just going to make sure that as I move around the model, all of my silhouettes are looking correctly. That's where I get the most kind of bang for my buck when it comes to making sure that the anatomy is correct. Right, so I'm looking here. Right, I'm looking at the deltoid shape versus the triceps versus, like, this looks a little bit, it's not flat, but it's pretty close to flat. I feel like we can get a little bit of mileage if we just round out some of this a little bit, right? So we got this coming in. We got the ulna on the outside over here. You can use Z-sphere rig. Yeah. I haven't actually used Z-sphere rigs yet. Alright, Spectre, what's up, man? How you doing? So yeah, that's what I'm doing is I'm looking at the I'm always looking at the silhouettes, right? So like this in here, I feel like this has got to come up. I feel like the lats in the back needs to come down. This is all wrong here. So it also helps too, like if I come up in subdivision level 1, excuse me, I can actually come in here and like just draw over the anatomy if I need to, right? I can just sketch right over it. So if I come in, let's say with my standard brush, oh yeah, all the folks. So if I come in with a standard brush, and then instead of Z add, let's just turn on that. What I need to do though first is fill the object, right? So let's fill the object with RGB. So if we do fill object, now if we change, this one will stay the same. So now what I can do is I can come in and go, oh, I can just draw right on there. I'm like, okay, ribs come down here, like so. Alright, ribs. Alright, we got sternum here. Okay, that's okay. We've got hip. Hip, maybe? No, hip. Oh, thanks, man. So we got gluteus medius here. We got gluteus maximus coming in there through there. We got our sartorius muscle coming in through here. We got our abductors coming in through here. We've got our rectus femoris there. Our vastus lateralis coming down here. Vastus medius here. So that looks all good. So okay, that looks okay. This could probably, and then you know, you can come in and just move things around a little bit compared to your sketch tool here. So I'm just using the standard brush. So the deltoids should come in here. We got your brachialis that's coming in here. You've got your extensors that come up here. This is looking okay, right? Extensors that come over there. All your contractors down there. Oh, there we go. So here's a good problem. The triceps look really flat right there. Really flat. Craig, I think that was for me. I don't know if that comment was for me or not, but in case, works good, man. Works good. So again, I'm looking at the that silhouette, right? So before, you can see how flat that is now, right? So I'm looking at the silhouette, making sure that I have enough of the elbow back here. Let's not dig it in. Yeah, it was empty. Okay, cool. I didn't want to impose, you know. But it was... Work's going good, dude. Work's going really well. I get to sculpt Avengers characters all day. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty dope. Alright, I feel like we're falling apart a little bit back here. Alright, so here we go. There's the spine that comes like this. Right? We've got the latissimus dorsi that comes in here. The majority of it will kind of come in through there. Again, the majority of the muscle is coming up through here. I cannot say, but the only thing I can say is that it's an Avenger. So deltoid comes in through here. Guys, I can't wait until we start showing you guys more stuff. Oh, so good. So much fun. So that's feeling okay. I feel like I can or cannot say. You can guarantee it's an Avenger. Let's put it that way. So I really want to make sure that we got this chain effect going really well. So if you look at the link of a chain, right? So this side comes out a little bit more. And by chain, what I mean is, if you look at the arm from the front, right? So this is the chain from the side, and then this part is the chain from like the flat side, and then it goes like this, and then back like this, right? So you get a little bit of that like profile of a chain, right? So this is what looking at it from the side. So you got like this nice bigger shape, more of a flat shape, and then a larger shape. If that makes any sense at all. No, I'm actually, I work in the video game industry. Right now I'm working for Crystal Dynamics. So this is all wrong back here. So this is the one I gotta fix in here. Woof! Let's actually just move some of this stuff up here. Yeah, left arm needs. Yep. You can if you want to just YouTube search Crystal Dynamics Avengers Project, you'll see the quick little teaser that we have out. I cannot, sir. I cannot. The only thing I could say is that it's an Avenger. Okay, so this is a little jacked up in here. So I'm going to try to get a little bit more of the lat coming in through here. Not too much though. Okay. I actually have to sculpt an armpit. Ooh. Okay, so we got the bicep that comes through here. Am I looking for references? For poses? Oh, you're a rendering engineer? Dude, the snow in Rise of the Tomb Raider in the beginning was so awesome, man. So awesome. I'm whenever I see that stuff, I'm just like, what? How do you guys do that? That's crazy. No way. So I feel like this has got to come out a little bit more. Yeah, I didn't really get how they did it. I'm not an engineer myself, so as long as it looks really cool. But like the shader work and stuff that they did was very nice. I particularly enjoyed watching my tracks in the snow in the beginning of Rise of the Tomb Raider. That was awesome. You need a little bit more shape out here. So if I turn off colorize and then head back to white, I can turn off those sketches, which becomes pretty helpful. Spine is bending weirdly here. Okay, Hanny. I gotta take a look at it after the stream, though, bro. Just sculpting from knowledge. I've been doing for quite a long time. But thanks, though, man. Can't say where I work. It's one of the biggest studios out there, but we don't get to work on realistic graphics, so I've missed it a bit. Yeah. Yeah. I had a chance to do some work for an undisclosed studio, but that was more stylized, and I was just like, you know what? It's not my thing, man. Stylized is not my thing. I feel like I would be doing a disservice to you and to me. So I didn't do it. Thanks, Preston. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm really trying to go for the feeling, right? So some of my previous work, I really like for in-game work. I always try to, when I'm sculpting like cloth or like materials and stuff, I always try to think about what the fabric is actually doing, and like my challenge to myself is always if I can nail the feeling of the material in the sculpt, it's just going to be even better when the actual texturing work happens, right? So I'm kind of trying to get that same essence for this one, where instead of the cloth, I mean that stuff will come later, but I really, if I'm doing something that's posed, like it's super important to nail the pose, right? Because if you can nail the pose, that's like your foundation, you know, that's like your armature for when you're doing a sculpture or whatever, you know. It just brings everything together. So I feel if I can nail it off the bat, it just only makes everything stronger, you know. Well, don't get me wrong, or like stylized is still like it's tough to do, man. I think honestly sometimes stylized work is way tougher than realistic work. Still leaves to be desired for engineers. You know, I was probably one of the coolest stylized things that I've seen from an engineering point of view is how the ocean shaders from Sea of Thieves. Man, that ocean looks awesome. It feels like stylized ocean that's alive. It's so crazy good. So crazy good. So another thing that I try to do is focus on, I don't know how to explain this. I've tried to explain this a couple of times. but it kind of falls flat on its face when I try to explain it. But so I like to call compound shapes. So what I mean by compound shapes is having, you know, not just, let's say, you know, this shape is a fairly, like, it's a very on-surface shape, right? You look at it from this side, and it's entirely there, right? Let's see if I can explain this correctly. But if I'm thinking of something more, more like a compound shape or more dynamic shape, what I really want to do is do something that is interesting from all angles. So what I really try to do is try to think about interesting shapes from all angles. So like as you rotate this, you know, things start, let's do this, things start coming in more, you know, where you got like these shapes kind of like intertwining from different angles, I guess what you could say. So instead of doing that, let me just talk about some of the ones that I think that are working. So not like an on-surface shape, but something like this where the shape exists on a silhouette, but also exists inside the silhouette. I think, actually, you know, I think that's right. So a shape that exists both on a silhouette and on the non-silhouette. Does that make sense? Like, so this shape right here, right? We're seeing this really nice. Yeah, that's fine. We're seeing this really nice silhouette shape, but in that same shape, it's doing different things from different angles. Right, so it's like it's getting something awesome in the silhouette, but it's also supporting some of the inner shapes as well, right? And then you've got like this shape coming in through here. And like shapes they kind of like dive into each other. Does that make sense? I don't know. I still gotta work on the explanation for that. Basically, you want your shapes to do more than just live on one surface, right? I hope that makes sense. I gotta work on that. It's really important. I gotta work on the explanation a little. Something like Team Fortress, yeah. There goes a lot of design. Yeah, the design stuff is just, like, it's so crazy. Like, when I see, like, Shane Olsen and, like, all the stylized guys working on characters, I'm just like, dude, that's awesome. Being able to just nail those shapes in the right proportions in a stylized way, it's so foreign to me. So foreign. Well, hey, let's save it. That's feeling pretty dope. That's feeling pretty good right there. Alright, I'm getting happier and happier with this thing. Save it! Now, if the game was just crazy good. I haven't actually played it, yes. But the shader on the ocean is just freaking fantastic. Whenever I watch people play, I'm just like, ooh, go, jump in the ocean. I want to see the ocean. And then, like, when they jump in, they're diving, and they start coming up, looking at it. The thing that blows my mind is looking at the top of the ocean in Sea of Thieves from underneath. And you're like, it's just, like, so crazy good. Like, it's just mind-boggling in how they do that. Seen Valley of the Gods? I have not. Dude, if you have a link to that, put that in chat, man. I'd love to see that. Okay, let's work on his deltoid a little bit here. Okay, how the deltoid works. We've got 3 major heads of the deltoid. One that comes in through here, one that comes in through here, and one that comes in like that. Right? This one connects up to the ridge of your scapula. Right? And then usually what we have is when you lift your arm up. So this one connects to your clavicle, and this one connects to a bunch of weird stuff in here. So usually what you do is you have like this little divot in here where you've got this front head will give some there. Ooh, awesome. Thanks, Derek. Thanks, dude. But then you got like this little hole here as the head of this deltoid flexes in through there. And then these kind of so your traps come up here. So your traps are all going to come all the way down here. So this is good. Trapezius come up through here, connect, and they go all the way up. Like that. The shape of the back is always so intricate, right? Because you want to look at the muscles, and play to the muscles, but a lot of people actually but what I forget a lot, I won't speak for everybody, but is the shape of the clavicle. No, the shape of the scapula. The shape of the scapula like presses out depending on what your shoulder's doing, right? And what your arms are doing. So let's say this one, he's got his arm coming way back. Ooh, I gotta fix that. That's But what's happening is when you pull it back like this, your scapula slides in, right? If you go forward, your scapula actually pulls out like this. Right? So I want to make sure that I have that happening, right? Because it's going to help describe the position. So as this one moves forward, the scapula is actually going to pull out more here. And we're going to get a little bit of form happening. Like this, right? Where when you pull the shoulder back, your scapula slides along your ribs, so you don't see as much, right? So this all contracts your traps, not your traps, your traps. Your traps actually slide this way. Alright, so then your spine isn't really going anywhere. So what happens is you get this kind of thing happening where the scapula is pushing against your traps. And you're kind of getting this buckling happen. Yes, all the time, Presh. All the time. Right, so we're getting kind of like this compression happening where these guys get bunched up. and where this actually is should be sliding out further a little bit. So a really great resource for a lot of this stuff is Bodies in Motion. It's Scott Eaton's website. Basically what he does is he takes photos of athletes doing crazy things, and then you're able to see like how the body and the muscles move in crazy positions and crazy moves and stuff, like, you know, like high flying kicks or like cartwheels or all kinds of crazy stuff. It's really cool for the next level of anatomy. You know, like if you're doing just a T pose, that's one set of anatomy, you know, that you need to learn. As soon as you feel like you've not mastered, but you feel comfortable, and you know the majority of what's what and what's where and what's connected to what, the next step in your evolution of anatomy knowledge should be motion, right? What are the muscles doing when you do a particular movement, right? And that comes in really, really helpful when you're doing stuff like this, where you're doing poses. You know, like you need to know what's compressing and what's not compressing, and what the muscles do, and how they move across the body for different positions and different movements, you know? And then as soon as you understand that, then you can start expanding on that knowledge by going into and doing more realistic creatures, right? Then things become believable. See how that's feeling. Right? You know what the lats are doing. You know, when you raise your arm up like this, you know what that lat's doing, and more specifically, you know what the other lat's doing when you're like compressing on it, you know? And you see that I still have a lot to learn. I still have tons to learn. You're never really done learning. You know what the pectoral muscle is doing when it gets pulled back, right? That way you can sell more believability, you know? Like this, you know, the pectoral has lots of connections to the ribs right there, right? And as you pull that back, you know that the shape of this down here is going to be, you know, square, and then a little bit more flat here, and then it actually pulls up there. Whereas if you have more, you know, less stretch on it, you're actually going to not have just this short flat side. You're actually going to like see how the muscle like droops down. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Yeah, Juan, no problem. It's important to know that stuff, you know, especially if you're doing, you know, poses and stuff. You know, you know, even in the game industry too. Like when you're doing, ooh, this is ooh. I gotta fix the butt. When you're doing fixes to the rig, you know, let's say that you got your A pose and everything looks great on the A pose, but then, you know, when the tech artist gets it and like does all the awesome stuff, and then before it goes to the animator, you need to be able to do like fixes to you know, to the mesh based on different poses, you know. So if you lift your arms, what are, you know, I gotta fix all this down here, what does this look like, you know, when you move it up, down, or like what does the deltoid look like, you know, like this needs to be scrunched up here. So like that stuff, it matters anytime you're doing anatomy, not necessarily just, you know, oh well, I'm just doing statues, so it doesn't really matter, or I'm just, you know, I'm just doing game art, so it doesn't matter because my, you know, the riggers will do all that. No, that's not how it works, man. Dougie, what's up, buddy? Yeah. So yeah, that's my intention is that this will be for print. So yeah, all that stuff is super important. You know, you're never really done learning the anatomy, right? So this all comes in. This is like almost all rib cage right here, right? So you've got like this again that compound shape where this all comes in, right? This shape is coming over, like it's part of the silhouette, and then it also is part of not part of the silhouette. I guess you could say part of the surface. It's part of the surface and part of the silhouette, right? And then we've got some of the serratus muscles that are coming down here. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of that um, a little bit of that light change, right? You can see a little shadow going on in there. Sweet potato fries. You better be making some for all of us, Dave. Seriously. Alright, we got a little bit of this coming out. Just finished my first full ZBrush project, all the way from ZBrush to packaged toy. Wow! That's awesome, man. Congrats. That's awesome. That's a milestone. I think that's, you know what, honestly, Dave, that's one of my bucket list is to be able to have something produced, like an actual toy or a statue, probably a statue. I think it's a little bit easier at this point, and sold. You know, that's actually it's one of my bucket lists. Ooh, that arm. Ooh, this arm. I gotta do some work on that eventually. All right, so now we got that like turning. We got this nice, again those compound shapes, right? As I move to different silhouettes, right? So this is coming in here. This is actually part of the surface and part of the silhouette. And as I rotate around, still part of the silhouette and part of the internal shape. That's what I kind of what I mean by these nice compound shapes. Is that from any angle you get this really nice, these nice shapes on the surface and really nice silhouette values. Like this is a little too lumpy. And you started using ZBrush only 6 months ago. But your knowledge goes back further than 6 months. That's the important part, right? I feel like the clavicle needs to come down some. Yeah, Doug, if you got some images, man, you're more than welcome to throw them up in chat. We'd love to see what you worked on. Yeah, you played for a lot of years, right? Yeah. So it was I wouldn't say an easy process transition to to ZBrush, but you already had a really good set of knowledge for functionality and production and anatomy and all that other stuff. Did I just do another 80s reference and not really even know it? Okay, I gotta, this hip really needs work. Oh, you did. No, it's all good. Oh, the Dave. Yeah. Didn't they just re-release 2001 in theaters? I think they did. 4K. Everything's getting redone in 4K. What other movies can we bring out of the closet that we could just make some money from real quick? I feel like that's how it is. I feel like this is wrong. Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah, I was like, Space Odyssey a little bit before that time. I'll worry about giving him a belly later. I really want to just make sure that my anatomy is correct first. Excuse me. I really don't mean to cough in your guys' ear. I had a wedding singer up 4K. I'm surprised that's not a thing yet. Thanks, Hanny. Yeah, I am. I get that same way whenever like I'm watching Ashley do work. Like she does some really awesome creature work. And every time I watch her do creature work, I'm like, oh man, I just want to go back and sculpt. Forget this crazy production work. Production work sucks. I just want to go back and sculpt stuff. And that's what I feel like I'm doing now. I'm pretty happy. So I get that feeling, man. I get it. All right. I think there's some pretty good stuff today, guys and gals. I'm not happy with this part right here. It's a really big big eyesore for me. The butt and this whole side needs a lot of work. But from the front, I feel like it's pretty good. It could definitely be pushed more, but it's heading in the right direction. I think this is probably its strongest side here. Get this really nice direction going on. But I'm still not really happy with the legs. So, actually, I gotta call it. I gotta go do some other stuff today. So, I think at this point we did some good stuff today. Yeah, I'll take a look at it, Hanny. Can't promise any good answers, but I'll take a look at it. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Excuse me. Thanks to everybody for hanging out on the weekend. I do have a third stream coming up this week, or not this week, but this month. I'm doing 3. The next one is I think a couple weeks from now. I think 2 weeks from today. I'm not sure. It'll be on the schedule. But yeah, so stay tuned for more awesome streamers on the Pixelogic channel. Don't forget to follow them on YouTube and Twitch. And yeah, I think that's about it. zclassroom.com if you want to get some awesome learning. Hashtag ask ZBrush if you have a specific question that you want them to answer. And I think that's it. So on that note, hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys learned a couple things. But most of all, I hope you were inspired to go make your own cool stuff. So do it. Go make some cool stuff. Get out there and sculpt. Make some art. Feel good. Alright, guys and gals. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Great questions. Awesome people. See you guys soon. Later.